So I have amateur bodybuilder, okay, online fitness coach, and content creator extraordinaire Ryan Bradshaw here at the Respecting Perspectives podcast at the Watermelon Room in Baltimore, Maryland. Hey man, thanks for being here, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's awesome to have you here, man. Tell the people a little bit who you are. Kind of dig a little bit. Let them know what you're doing here and how you got here, and any information that might be helpful for them to understand your journey.
Yeah. So, we know each other. We're homies.
Yeah, for sure.
But the reason I'm on this podcast is hopefully to give people my perspective on my growth and kind of where I'm at with how I can help the world. I think everyone wakes up every single day kind of, wondering how they can offer a better version of themselves to society. And ultimately, that's what's bringing me here, because I feel like doing this, kind of talking about my journey, talking about just my endeavors, and getting people maybe generally excited about their future through my story. I think that's probably what brings me here generally. So yeah, I would say it's probably where I'm at. Yeah.
Dope. Nice. Yeah, I mean, me and Ryan and I have known each other a bunch of years, and I think we've both kind of went through a few transformations in that time, and he's gonna get into a lot of let's see here, the history of where he was in pre-fitness, and where he is now, and all the things that he has going on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your childhood, and some of the inspirations, maybe where you grew up, and give us some of the things that kind of inspired you as a kid.
Yeah. So I would say definitely being a kid is like what I did as a kid gave me my biggest perspective on life. And I feel like I still hold to that. Some of my biggest inspirations growing up, back then it was just so different. We didn't have access to a lot. So we kind of were spoon fed what society decided to give us.
Right.
I was super into cartoons, growing up watching Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, all of the new cartoons, seeing super jacked guys on Dragon Ball Z, and just like high testosterone, like video games like Call of Duty, Halo 3, Halo 2, the original Halo, all those, James Bond, and like, just like the multiplayer era of games was some of my biggest inspirations. We had like WWE. Like I remember,
right.
Pay-per-view was so fun. I would go over and I'd like do pay-per-view with my friend, and we would just watch these crazy fights, and then we would play the games after all night. And then eventually that turned into computer games. I played StarCraft, World of Warcraft. That's probably the most influential game of my childhood. And that kind of like is some of my biggest inspirations next to like the music culture. Like while I was doing that, I was, into the Walkman, into MP3 downloading, LimeWire, the whole, like I liked a lot of alternative rock, like Linkin Park,
Nice.
Papa Roach, stuff like that. And then I liked rap. I think Eminem was probably my first rap album I ever bought.
Which one was it?
I think it was his self-titled the Slim Shady album. Yeah, nice. It was my first like uncensored record that my mom was like, "I'm buying you a cuss word album," and I was just like, "Oh, this is sick."
Oh, dude, that's like that's probably a monumental time.
Yeah, I think I got that. I got a Sum 41 album and then a Blink 182 album. Those three, I bought those three. I remember the same day. They were my first 3 cuss word CDs.
Oh, dude.
So I still wish I had those, but
Where did you get them from, like Sam Goody or something?
dude, I got them from oh my gosh, it was this place called Babbage's, which turned into like electronics boutique, and then I think that eventually became like FYE for your entertainment, or yeah. So those were where I would get the.
I know, right? Remember where the places where you could get CDs? That was a thing, and then you'd just be like searching throughout the CD. You could spend like hours,
dude. Yeah,
in places like that.
It was cool. That was like probably like that time period. I call that the montage time period.
Why so?
Because that's when we were. It's kind of like music when back in the 80s when they were getting into like drum programming and kits and like learning equipment. I feel like we were learning a lot of visual equipment through the like 90s and early 2000s. Like commercials grew like in like montages, like showing what like car commercial style stuff,
right?
Like just the new way people would cinematic and shoot, make people look like a badass, you know, just like and so showcasing like the best of someone, you know what I mean? And that's before social media.
The
now it's just like
of something, or like the and I think it had a lot to do with like the angles and not just that, but like the ambiance, the atmosphere that it was in. You know?
Exactly. And it was like an exploration period. So you either consumed it or you kind of explored new, you pioneered new ways of just like media. You know what I mean? So like the age of media, I guess. So that's my biggest inspos. I still feel like I try to represent myself as that, being at the age that I am, 33. I don't even feel 33, honestly.
Nice. How old do you feel?
I feel 23. Yeah. I feel 23. Yeah.
Nice. That's good to hear, and that's really important because it's like your body, I'm sure that, and that's up and down, different day personally. For different days I'll feel different ways, but I do think that as long as you try and keep your mindset young, and not even just like your mindset young, but like being able to adapt and to, we spoke about this in one of the other podcasts, and think we're the age in between where like half of our life was lived without a cell phone.
Yep.
And then like most likely half of our life will be with, the cell phone. So, we're kind of on that cusp. And I think we're lucky to have been able to have that time, before. So we did really get to see the beginnings of most media, other than like the radio itself. But like, when, commercials, think about like the budgets for commercials, what they probably used to be. And then now, dude, you got like Super Bowl commercials that are like, millions of
like
dollars
30 seconds
for 30
like,
seconds.
I don't even know what it was. 8 million?
Right. And that doesn't even count the money it's spent that they need to spend to make the commercial.
Yeah.
So, but you sorry to kind of go off on a side note there, but other than like childhood inspirations, let's see here. I kind of want you to help everybody know, what started your fitness journey and what maybe prompted you to start making some changes to your body and your mind throughout that time.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, it's like so cut and dry. It's in a good way. I feel great now. When I was 23, I didn't feel great. I was in like I was in like a club scene and in like a very the entertainment scene. And I DJ'd. I had all my friends were DJs or band members or through club events or did something of that nature. And so obviously recreational drugs happened and my life was pretty consumed with that. So, waking up you know, going to bed at 4, waking up like to go to work the next day when I was that young. It still felt like crap, even though I was what they call, you're invincible in your 20s. But I wasn't. I acted like I was, but I felt like crap. So I think COVID took a turn for everyone. Like everyone, did not think that was going to happen, and then took maybe advantage of the opportunity, or they did something, right? They did something with their life. And at the time, initially, I just got out of a bad relationship, and it kind of forced me to want to like recreate myself.
Okay.
And I got my door kicked in by the feds. I sold drugs.
Drugs.
And
You were that pusher.
I was Mr. Pusher.
Mr. Pusher.
With a whole bunch of other guys.
Now you're pushing weight.
We were doing it. And I don't regret that time period. I had a great time. I definitely burnt tons of bridges, which I regret, but I think that is the defining point of like throughout my whole life. I always, kids are so influenced when they're young. I understand that now. I always wanted to like people please, or like share with people, or like, just be accepted, or feel like I was doing something, benefiting, like benefiting the group, benefiting society. Right.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't really doing that in the scene that I was in. There was a time period I remember I didn't even really like the like music that I kept going to force myself to listen to. And I was like, oh man. And then like, I started, an e-commerce business that did great towards the end of the relationship I'd gotten out of. And then the woman I was with was like, you're spending too much time doing this. So I was like, oh man, like, I do have an addictive personality, but at least it's not drugs. Like I got to just force it out. So I knew that was the beginning of the end. And with COVID, I took the good stuff from my partying days, which was kind of expanding my mind. And I was like, you know what? I need to do this with my body. I need to, I kind of was a little kid.
Love that.
Saying to myself, I'm going to be jacked one day. I was like, I'm going to be fucking shredded to the gills, ripped. I know I am. I'm just going to do it. Now's not the time. I don't care. I'll get by through my life just being goofy and being charismatic.
So that was always in the back of your mind, though?
Oh, yeah. Like, I had a friend in high school who won, like, Mr. Maryland body. I mean, yeah, I still talk to him here and there. He does not lift anymore, unfortunately. But he was a full-fledged bodybuilder. Like, hardcore, loved Arnold, loved... Before bodybuilding was as big as today, because it didn't have the spotlight on it like social media gives it.
Right.
And... So I knew one day, I was like, and so I knew what bodybuilding was the whole time. Like I just knew the ins and outs to an extent, just because I had a friend who did it. So, but I didn't know like how to work out like one or do anything. So I was just like, I'm going to get jacked, but I'm going to figure it out. So I feel like this begins with every guy. They begin with, I just wanted to get abs in 90 minutes. And they realize that's like a snake oil and it's never going to happen. And then it goes down this just like, they're, me 5 years in the making of really working out hardcore. And, but starting out with no goal. When you start out with no goal, you literally can get sold anything. Like drink water at 11 a.m. and you'll get jacked. Like, just it's insane.
So wait, then the whole 90-minute ab thing, like what,
dude, I did those. I was at COVID. I was in my room doing like, shout out to Brent and Scotty. We did a push-up challenge and they will hold it and I let them tell the story. They're like, yeah, I got Ryan into bodybuilding. We started a push-up challenge and he just took off. So it was around the same time period, but it was a candle that was burning in my, it was a burning desire of mine for a long time. Right. And ironically, right when COVID happened, I got in a jet ski accident and broke my leg. I literally texted my buddy who was a power lifter and the day before, kid I grew up with, Chris Chu. And I was going to just pay him to show me the basics.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know. I was like, okay, well, if I don't have a goal, I need to at least learn how to squat, bench, and deadlift.
There you
go.
And
I knew that was a thing. Okay. That's what we learned in high school. So I was like, I'll begin there.
Okay.
And boom, broke my leg. Went into another like depressing hole of like, holy crap, I was gonna work out and like really start this journey. And then now I'm back on my ass playing World of Warcraft during COVID.
Sidetracked again.
Yeah, sidetracked again. And I was like, screw it. I got some time. Played World of Warcraft with a bunch of people, had a great time. And then something clicked where I like achieved all my goals in a video game. And I was like, I need to gamify my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that way to say it.
Gamify my life.
I love that.
And like, I was like, I'm so good at this game. And there's so many little metrics that the game encompasses. That's just real life,
on.
like money, health, just everything, resources.
Well, I think the coolest thing
Community.
about like a video game, you know how like they have like, I forget what it's called exactly, but where they have all those little, you know, the metrics of like, or let's just say like with a car, you know, it has like the speed itself, or like the you know, the what's it called, the endurance, you know, there's all those different
like
aspects.
strength, stamina, mana, all the all
those things, and you're like, okay, how can I get all of them to be as you know, as full as possible?
Exactly.
Right.
And so like I was, you know, when something becomes a waste of time, it's when it feels like it's a waste of time. You know what I mean? You could be like, oh, you're wasting your time, but you could be having the time of your life.
Right.
Be like, that is not a waste of my time.
Right, for sure.
And video games did that for me. Became a waste of time. I realized there was so much more I could do. You know, there were so many missed opportunities. I missed, I was spending Bitcoin on drugs, missed that one. I did great on the drop shipping e-commerce thing and kind of ended it just because I got out of relationship and COVID, basically. China shut down their manufacturing. So I couldn't, a lot of stuff I couldn't do. So I just took the time to invest in myself. And when I'm competitive as crap. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a never ending, you know, me versus me battle. I love working out. So I found just this crazy, like, you know, love for it. I felt like, you know, when you're like so broke that you're just like willing to do anything for money, you don't care. You're shameless, bro.
I think we've all been there at some point,
and
right?
so like, that's how I felt in the gym. I was like, I got no muscles. Like, I'm just going to get in there and like, just beat it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that is literally why I say it's eat, sleep, intensity, not eat, sleep, and train. Because if it was eat, sleep, and train, I'd be reading a book while I was working out. But it's not. So
eat, sleep, intensity?
Yeah, because muscle growth is just getting your muscles to a point where growth can occur, and then getting the heck out of the gym, eating, sleeping, and getting on with your life and recovering and living a stress-free life. You know what I mean? So, and when I started out with no goals, like directionless. So
you didn't have like a mentor or something?
I didn't even know that's how it worked. I thought, you know, the more reps you did, the better.
Right.
And then now I'm over here doing like 2 sets per like movement, you know, like dumbbell flies. Maybe I'll do like a set to begin with, but then just 2 intense sets.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
And that's just because studies and what has come out and just, but I still do believe you got to look at the old people that said it, you know, Arnold, Lou Ferrigno, the guy who played the Hulk back in the day, like, you know, Lee Priest, all these crazy, you know, Dorian Yates, all these people that invented all these, you know, different types of movements and had crazy physiques. Like if they did it back then without the science we have today, it was intensity, right? So,
right. I guess if you were to pay attention to it in a particular way, I'm sure you could describe it in a few different ways, but that makes a lot of sense though.
Yeah. And so like no goals, I got injured and in the gym and just doing like, you know, delt flies or something's really.
Wait, you got injured in the gym?
Just being in the gym and not having a personal trainer and just like, you know, slamming your body around. In your late 20s, you're like, well, this is the time to do it, to slam your body around, but also I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
let me ask you this, when you would have these injuries, like would it be something that you would feel like instantly like it would happen, or like would it be something that you would like over time start to feel?
Oh my gosh, both.
Yeah.
So like I got to a point where my tendons felt so weak, but my muscles were kind of strong. So like when I would do like, curls, and it was overworking out my body.
Okay.
To where my tendons were kind of like just sore.
Yeah.
So that's like the long-term effect of just not training properly. And then some of the instant injuries would be like doing the leg press wrong, or like doing something too far of like a range of motion to where.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I've literally had to walk out of the gym and like, well, that's it. I hurt my leg. You know what I mean?
Right. So did you ever get any injuries like that where you were like, yeah, like this is not working out. Like this is that maybe like stopped you from working out for any particular amount of time or anything?
Well, when I got back on my feet from getting injured, I recontacted my buddy and I did the squat, bench, deadlift with my boy. Those are like some of the first videos I have of me like lifting any weight at all.
Gotcha.
And when I did that, I kind of was coming out of a hurt leg, so I knew what PTing a injury felt like, I guess, like, so
internally.
I knew. So the injuries, they would always come unexpected, but it never was like I'm immediately stopping bodybuilding. It was just crap. Now I can't do my favorite thing.
Gotcha.
It's like if it rained every day and you were you skateboarded,
You'll
like
find a
you can't go
skateboard
out
park
there
inside somewhere.
Yeah,
though.
you're gonna figure out a different way to somehow get better.
Of course.
And if there's a couple hours of no rain, you might still go out.
Let me ask you this, when it comes to that early mindset, what were some of the goals, that you had? Did you have like a particular like physique that you wanted? Did you have like a particular amount of time that you wanted to, spend in the gym? And then like maybe kind of give me some like short term, and long term, maybe then goals, and even like some goals that you have, now as well.
Yeah, no, that was good. Like when I finally was like, okay, I'm getting into, I want to be jacked. I don't know how I'm going to get there. That's the goal somehow.
Right,
I don't even know like what type of jacked I want to get. I didn't know that like, lower body fat meant that you might not be as strong at that moment and that your body's always changing. So like,
Right,
everything's temporary. You can't just be jacked forever or whatever. So when I dialed in kind of, I'm going to get jacked. I don't know how. I was already past I got into fitness to get rid of my addiction and depression phase. Like that, I had already like.
Oh yeah, that's something that we didn't even. I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but I think that's a really good point to make.
I mean, falling out of a relationship that I was in that I really, the person that I was with, I cared about a lot. And I didn't see the damage I did till it was already, walking away.
Gotcha.
And between that and losing friends and then a world crisis that kind of changes up. And I was, doing drugs like every day.
Yeah.
Like club drugs and just staying up and doing parties, just being a degenerate, like going and dropping $2,000 at Horseshoe Casino on a Monday.
Right.
And going into the bathroom and just like doing cocaine and drinking.
Yeah.
And like, just being crazy. So, overcoming that addiction and depression, that kind of showed me that I can go into the gym and if I'm not feeling good that day, there's a place I can go and kind of just like physically exert some force. And that I feel like is important to people.
Right. It's like me with the studio.
100%. It's like someone with like, I feel like it's like some people like diary or they like write out their emotions or whatever. Like, I like just putting on some good music and like, or, they say like people walk around, they go on a walk and they think about stuff. Yeah. I like to put on music and throw some weight around. Right?
Yeah.
So
I think it has to do with your outlet, right? I think everybody needs an outlet. And it's hard to find that outlet that really helps you grow at the same time. I feel like there are some outlets that only allow you to like get things out, but like with what you're speaking about, like, you're also able to like, build something inside, like at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and so like that's what led me down the road to like understanding how to build a physique. And then with social media, I just started following people that I was like, I like the way they look, I'm gonna follow them.
Yeah, important was social media itself to what you that beginning phase there, and like, was it like what was big? Was it just Facebook, or was it like Instagram?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I deleted my Facebook around COVID because I thought it was boring. I don't know why. I was getting so much spam.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know. I just didn't like it. So
uh-huh.
Instagram I would just doom scroll on Instagram, and I didn't download TikTok. I was kind of late on that game. But I used Instagram. I just consumed so much of it. Following models, liking music, just like
Right.
whatever a bro would use like Instagram for.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like I followed fitness people that I realized like there was this big world of like content creation, honestly.
Right.
Like I
good
did because
point.
I like knew music, and I knew just, raving
Yeah.
and jam bands and the festival scene and kind of all of the things that encompass that.
Mhm.
And I understood content creation. You hop on YouTube, you see everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But there wasn't like an inspiring sector of which I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting.
Gotcha.
And a bunch of people are displaying their physiques. And so I instantly knew that I was like, all right, pulling it out of the backlogs. Young Ryan wanted, I'm pulling that ticket
That
for
OG.
young Ryan.
Right.
We're getting jacked.
Getting
We are becoming a bodybuilder. And so
there was just like a switch that
Yeah.
just kind of.
Yeah, I like ordered bodybuilding clothes that, looked horrible on me. Whatever. I followed every bodybuilder, man, female. I like watched Pumping Iron, learned like I was texting people that I even knew touched a weight, and was like, what supplements do you like? Like I was just on all ends, just like
you were firing off on all. Yeah.
firing on all ends
Yeah.
in the fitness industry. I made it my whole personality.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because I didn't even have like a physique. So I feel like I respect that because everyone comes from different angles when they're into stuff. Like some people, I know they're like, I'm a bodybuilder now, and they do a show in like 2 months. I'm 5 years bodybuilding. I've like, 3.5 really dialed in like a bodybuilder. 5 just lifting weights to become jacked.
Okay.
I haven't even done a show yet. But that's not.
Do you plan? Is that something you plan on doing?
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna do it this spring, but I think I'm pushing it. The urge to always want to be bigger.
Yeah.
And I stay pretty lean, and I kind of, with content creation, I like to keep the content creator body.
Yeah.
So, it just
sure.
works for what I'm doing right now. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
As far as goals, let's see here. What are maybe some of the some other maybe like long-term, goals that you kind of see yourself either like wanting to achieve or hoping to achieve?
So, I mean, dude, 200 pounds, lean and shredded. I'm trying to do that.
There you
I think
go.
I'm at like almost 180. I'm at like a 176. If I eat some food, I'll weigh a little bit more.
That's how much you weigh right now?
Yeah, like after a poop, just
Drop
with
a
my
few.
boxers on.
Yep.
In the morning, fasted. I'm 176.
Okay.
Um,
Now, let me ask you this. How important is, that number? Like, I know there was a point in my life where I really focused on my weight, and it was at one point a downfall for me because like I had to be, at like that particular size. Do you have any maybe feedback or like maybe some challenges that that came along with that?
The weight on the scale, it doesn't matter.
Nice.
Because like
I believe
you
that.
could weigh 190 pounds, work out for 3 months, and still at the end of it weigh 190, but you converted that fat into some muscle.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? So there are recomposition phases like your body will go through. Like I'm not someone who's going through recomposition phase because I work out all the time. I've already done it.
Yeah, you've already gotten past that.
Yeah, but I understand like how much you weigh depends, it's all in conjunction with how tall you are.
Okay.
And how much body fat you have. And if you're like, man, I gotta weigh under 165 or else you could be thirsty, you could be dehydrated. You gotta drink some water.
Right.
Like or you eat a lot of salty foods the day before and you're holding more water than usual because of the sodium or whatever it is. The body weight, it shouldn't matter like from a day to day. You shouldn't get upset from day to day.
Yeah.
But from week to week or month to month, if you're trying to trend and I'm trying to gain weight or lose weight, that's going to matter.
Of course.
You can gain and lose around a half a pound of weight a week, depending up or down.
Gotcha.
I would say that's like safe. That's like your safe way of doing it.
Gotcha.
So
when you say, let's see here, let's get back to maybe some of those other or maybe some other goals that you have other than like you said 200.
Yeah, like I mean, dude, I got crazy goals, dude. I shoot for the stars.
Nice.
So I mean, if you want to hear the crazy goals.
Yeah, let's hear it. I mean, what do you got? I want to help you,
realistic
make
goals.
it happen, dude.
So realistic goals. I mean, obviously, I want to do my first bodybuilding competition. I don't care where I'll place. I mean, I know I have decent posing. I'll do men's physique. That's the category.
Okay.
That's just.
How many different categories are there?
There's men's physique. There's classic, which encompasses like Arnold's look, like the old school look.
Okay.
And then open bodybuilding, which is like the biggest.
Okay.
Just anyone.
Gotcha.
And then there's like a 212 division where you got to be 212 max weight. No, it's for shorter people,
Okay.
like literally just shorter guys. Which those guys, I've seen guys go into open from there and still do as great. So
Gotcha.
Size doesn't matter because it all comes into like how the package you bring that day, your conditioning, how you look. There's a
lot of factors.
So doing a show, that's pretty easy. It's just a goal that I know eventually I'll do. But
what's the timeline on something like that?
Within a year.
Yeah. Nice.
But I've been focused on my content and I want to just build I like teaching people how to work out.
Yeah.
And I like to do it in a motivational way, and I like to add comedy because that's where I came from. Before any muscles, any lick of confidence I ever had, it was because I was like funny and charismatic.
Class clown.
So I've just been building my platform to hopefully attract young men. And hey, if there's like the two women that enjoy my content out there, that's great.
Yeah.
But it's really just to attract where I came from. So I feel like I put myself in that mold. Young men to figure out what they want to do in life.
Nice.
Like straight up. Like that's it. Like I think going to the gym and just doing general fitness and having a goal in that fitness, understanding that you're not just happy lifting weights for fun. Like, you're someone who's like, I'm going to train for this 5K coming up, even though it's, just something I'm doing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Kind of like, having fitness in your life elevates your life, and that shows perspective that it elevates everything else in your life.
For sure.
And like, you won't take no for an answer for some things now.
Ooh,
or
I
you'll
like
just, you just start to treat yourself with more respect.
Right.
And therefore you carry out situations differently in life.
Yeah.
And
you keep you treat those other situations with respect.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah. Like, and so long term, it's to build a community through my social media platforms to help people in that way, help guys. But dude, if I had like the craziest, end goal, I really just want to be able to make a living off of my full, fitness. I feel like I have a unique ability to help people with fitness.
For sure.
So if I could make that my complete full-time job, that'd be great.
Right.
So
how long, what's the timeline for something like that? Do you think that
within a year, 2 years? Cause I've been hitting the ground running on it. You know what I mean?
I see.
left where I was working about 5 months ago and kind of figured out what I was doing. So it's been like since the new year as a resolution,
Right.
to kind of pump it up and see what I can do for myself.
Nice.
I have like other things that will help supplement the income of all this that are kind of intertwined with fitness, but
Okay.
big overarching goals of life. It's the community to help people. But I mean, lately I feel like I'm like ADHD, so I get like so hyper fixated on certain goals, and I have to like realize that about myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because your goals are going to change
Exactly.
as they go. No, dude, I think you did a great job of pointing out some of the things, and I've known you for a while now, so I really do think those are the goals that you're living by.
Yeah, it's
recently. Let's talk a little bit about like the gym itself and like your relationships.
Yeah.
I really want to kind of dig into that. Yeah, tell me a little bit about maybe either like some of the relationships that you've like built like through the gym itself, or just relationships, in general.
Yeah. No, this is a great opportunity to explain that, muscles don't just automatically get you things. Yeah, right. I want to build my social media platform, so I'm always posting crazy, thirst trap photos, abs, whatever. I'll post anything. There's some humorous stuff. There's advice on there.
Uh-huh.
But, dude, my DMs is basically, when I get DM'd like some weird things, it's always like, same sex. Always like a gay guy or just some like creepy girl from the woodworks, dude. Just coming from the floorboards, like, and so luckily, like that doesn't happen all the time, and I've managed like the DMs to like separate them. But the reason I'm saying this is muscles like does like the woman of your dreams would probably like you to be in a good shape.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized that there's personalities of other people where they don't want their partner to be in better shape than them.
Oh,
right,
wow.
right,
I never
right,
really
right.
thought about that,
But
actually.
like then there's some people that they don't care. They're like, yeah, I want a jacked guy. I don't care. And like,
Yeah.
so people like it, but muscles just show that you put in the time, that you didn't buy it, right? You can't buy it like you can buy BBL or whatever. You can buy muscle insertions, but to have like a real robust looking physique takes time and effort and like delayed gratification. It shows delayed gratification.
Oh, I like that.
You know what I mean? That's the biggest one. And if you can tie that in with your personality and being funny and, like women care about like when someone walks in and they're like, oh, hey, well, like everyone says hi to him. Like everyone knows like he's a good guy. Everyone took the time to say hi to that guy. Muscles don't equal women.
Yeah.
But muscles can help put yourself in a better position. You're just looking good and confident, right? Like it helps. It ties the whole package together.
I think that you actually made a good point there at the end there with the confidence. It also, I'm sure, really builds confidence. So whether or not, it helps like what you want, in life.
Yeah, 100%. And like some people, they work out just because they're into fashion and they want their like sorry, I'm getting hot.
Yeah.
Show a little shoulder here. I got this
there you go.
little bodybuilder tee going on.
Action,
little bodybuilder
baby.
tee. But people work out just for fashion. Like I know guys that have been like, I'm not really into bodybuilding. I just want my shoulders to be bigger. You know what I mean?
Does that
Straight up.
exist?
Yeah. They're just like, like seriously. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That people do that.
To each his own.
So like my first, like the ex that I didn't work out with or wasn't into right before COVID, she wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole now. Straight up.
Wait, why do you say that?
She just would not. I've talked to her. I've asked her for like, hey, can you give me the pictures of when I was a skinny little bitch?
Yeah, right, right.
And she's like, don't say that. You look great. You know, I was like, yeah, because you dated me then. You don't want me to say that I look like shit. But
well, at least she cared
no,
about you.
she
That
did.
she, that's a, the fact that she cared about you, when maybe you didn't even care about yourself is,
honestly, well said.
So
that was so. I mean, my next relationship, I met her at the guy who taught me how to bench. I met him
nice.
he had a little powerlifting competition, and I met her there. And then the rest was kind of history with that, and dated her.
Are
for
most
3
of those events kind of like multi-site?
This was just powerlifting, so no posing, not what I do, no bodybuilding. Just guys lifting their 1 rep max.
But there's girls there too.
Yeah, there's a whole women division.
Gotcha.
Yep, women competing against women.
Do you feel like now, kind of to tie into the relationship thing there, do you think that now, or do you feel like now, your girlfriend has to be someone, or relationship has to be, significant other has to be someone who goes to the gym?
Dude, no. Like, okay, I'm into the like thick muscle mommy look. Like, I don't mind it. Like, I got like, okay, I have a type, and I'm not even gonna explain the type, right?
Yeah,
like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
everyone's got a type.
if you want.
Everyone's got a type. But like, when it comes to
you're
body
talking
type,
to the world here, dude.
True. Yeah, but listen, I do got a type. And,
ladies, find out his type.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. But when it comes to body type, like that, my type can exist in many body types. That's what I mean, right?
Yep.
And so I just like a girl that would appreciate herself as much as I do when it comes to the gym. So it doesn't mean she's gonna have to work out like a bodybuilder. If she wants to, like, by all means, do it. I'll help you. If you want to even lift like a guy, if you're like, nah, I'm trying to build my traps.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
right.
all right. But it's not like a must. But I like a fit girl, I like the part of body positivity that is you working on yourself, not just you accepting you for the crap of pile you want to be, you are.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's how it is, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I don't think I got to say any other.
No, I like that.
I feel like that's,
dude. I love the way you put that, actually.
So
what about gym culture itself? Because I guess there's like the outside looking in, and then like the inside looking out. Like, tell me a little bit about, like, especially with like social media, like nowadays, I feel like there are some people who kind of, they just use the gym as like their way of like showing, people that they are, doing things like that when like maybe they're not actually putting in, the proper time. And I'm not speaking about anyone in specifically. But like, give us a little bit about like gym culture itself and like maybe like the do's and don'ts, things like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So gym culture it has gone at an accelerated rate, and I feel like it's multifaceted. Like me being a raver and then becoming a gym bro. Like now I'm literally like a rave gym bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I also like the, like, I was telling you about my childhood and like listening to like emo and metal, and I'm like a alternative metal rave gym bro.
Dude,
you see what I mean?
I think you just like created a pocket there.
And that is, I feel like the algorithm slaps that. Like the algorithm pushes that. Like, there's gym culture has gotten to a point where like, because I think it's because of TikTok.
Okay. Why so?
Before Instagram was good, and you had just like people like, like doing the ab or like shots, or just like bros taking selfies, and or product placement, and I feel like other than Vine, there wasn't like video to audio.
Yeah.
And so now you can create this like text hook, video hook, and an audio hook. So within the first 3 seconds of people turning on their phone, you can throw, something that was just an image. It's now way more catchier.
Right.
And so TikTok now, and then they had the whole, it changed the music industry. It changed how people, virality of songs. Right? It used to, right before that, in which it's runner up, I'd say, is getting your song added onto Spotify. Right? Certain playlists and stuff. And, I'm not an artist, but I would assume it's that. And then, but having a song go viral on TikTok, people pay me to make content for their song. Yeah. On TikTok. Yeah. I enter those things all the time. Yeah. Even if it's just $50 or whatever. Yeah. It's
I've seen that personally. And, I don't think I've ever, paid like an influencer, or someone to, to use my music. Although it was always like a thought, but I see it happening. It's a real thing. So how are you able to do that? Do you like put your name in like some sort of like database, and like they see your profile and they're like, all right, this guy is doing this?
I think you pay TikTok. I think you pay TikTok to do a campaign event for you. Okay. And then they either dish it out to like affiliates or content creators.
Okay. Can anyone do that? Do you know if
I think any artist can do it. I think really? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I need to look into that.
Yeah, we can look into it.
Yeah,
but I feel like TikTok set this new standard for gym culture to where you got like anime lifters. You have golden era bodybuilder lifters. You got power lifters that are into anime now. You got power lifters that don't like anime. You have just metalheads. You got like people that, they lift. They like Drake. You know what I mean? They're into Drake.
Right. And that's all that plays.
That's all they play is Drake. 24/7 they lift. Right. And so like gym culture has gotten, or some people, they listen to no music at all. They listen to TikTok hype up montage videos. I'm dead serious. You'll see that.
I mean, I could see that. Maybe not even like TikTok montage videos, but just
inspirational.
Inspirational. Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, with music playing in the background, sped up versions of songs and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And so because of all of that, it's changed my taste in music. I've added some stuff that I'm like, dude, I can't believe I've added this to my Spotify, but I'm listening to it.
Right.
And so gym culture has kind of taken that, and there's different gym. So I feel like back in the day, you would just buy Nike for sports, or you'd buy Speedo if you were a swimmer, or there's maybe that one company for the sport. So they got Gymshark for gym or whatever, and then they got Young LA, which is more streetwear and more kind of what is popular everywhere outside of the gym. Literally that's what they do, baggy stuff and kind of streetwear. Gotcha. And so then there's even more acute really this whole cyber sigilism, alternative punk, this
What's
new
sigilism mean?
Sigil is a sigil, a symbol, or a crest or something. Yep. Sigilism, I guess that's cyber sigilism. It's this new cybernetic morphed look that a lot of people are rocking. There's this company called Breathe Divinity. Okay. And they just, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but
not yet.
Yeah. But yeah, true. But they have this very low exposure, dark type of vibe.
Oh, cool. Because most of the time you'll see brighter colors, and stuff like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And so it's there's cult following gym clothing. And
you see this. Who do you think, who were some of the earlier gym clothing, let's see here, entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Oh, dude. So back in the day, Z's is the rave bro. He's the guy that does the that's the pose. Throws the two fingers and the fist and he raved and was just honestly, here's the story most people are. They're I'm just trying to get jacked and get girls. Literally. Yeah. And so Z's You got David Lade from Gymshark. He's like one of the biggest models.
He's the one who started Gymshark?
He didn't start it, but he's one of their biggest models.
Gotcha.
And there's a guy I like from Young LA, and these are just models that I'm naming that have kind of pushed, I feel like, those, because I feel like if you started the company, you maybe had a outlook, but like most of these owners that own the gym brand, the gym clothing brand, they're not like super accomplished in the bodybuilding world.
Really?
Yeah, they're just like a guy that wanted to start a fitness clothing company. And
yeah.
Some of them are.
They're more
like, they're more business guys. Which, dude, you don't want to be a broke bodybuilder. Being that broke body, like the chicken and rice broke bodybuilder lifestyle sucks. Like, you know, spending all your money on like all the things that are just probably going to kill you in the long run. Like, you know, people use PEDs. Diet's not or cheap. It's just like so much. Like, if you're going to do bodybuilding, be financially stable.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still kind of get away with doing bodybuilding stuff, but if you're like going to compete and full-fledged commit, yeah, it's going to be hard. So,
of course.
I think so some of the biggest, I think being a business owner kind of should go hand in hand with working out, which is why I feel like some of these companies have gotten so big.
Yeah.
Cuz like you see just, you know, every, you know, regular Joe Schmo wearing the stuff that they're wearing Gymshark now or wearing.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's, I'm at a weird sector in my life where I respect the grind and the grit of these companies. I just don't wear a lot of them now because.
Why is that? Or like, well, maybe not why is that, but like, have you ever, is there any brands that kind of like, you know, that you do support more than others?
Yeah, I think that like if you're going to start a clothing company, there's no way around fast fashion. There's just no way. You're like there's some unethical strings that are going to be pulled to getting clothes. I know it's just how business is.
Yeah.
So the only way to not do fast fashion is to frickin' thrift, right?
Right.
And so like a lot of the times, and this kind of comes back from the person I was before, muscles and everything, is like I don't like making a big footprint on more than I live beneath my means. Like, yeah, I might drive like a Tesla or whatever, but like, dude, I don't own a house. Like, and I'm 33. I eventually will because I screwed up my life and I'm rebuilding it. But I am someone who's, I don't like to live beyond what I need to. And part of that is like clothing. And I like to look good and feel good when I'm looking good in my clothes. But clothing, dude, fashion is a silhouette. It's not a brands. It's not brands.
Say that again?
Fashion are silhouettes. It's like what you look like.
It's not just the clothes, but it's the person and the clothes together.
And so that's why I don't like wearing a lot of logos and stuff, because it's like free advertisement.
Yeah.
And there are like 3 things I told myself at the beginning of 2025 how I was going to live my life. Treat myself like a commodity, like I'm a stock, like I'm brand Ryan Bradshaw.
Nice.
Right?
I like that.
2 is do everything. And this is hard because sometimes you just can't, but and the real answer is to stay consistent. But 2, do everything like a gun is being held to your head.
Oh, shoot. Like, okay.
Because if someone was like, hey, you're not posting 3 times a day on TikTok? You know, you're gonna find a way to post 3 times a TikTok.
Right? Yeah, it's motivation.
And then 3rd, I just said it's living beneath my means, and I feel like that goes like you see billionaires live beneath their means, and but not real, but you know, in just like the way they dress or whatever. I guess I don't really
like
mean,
Adam Sandler, and like guys like that.
You see rich people live beneath their means, and there's not a lot of them.
See,
and
it's
like,
possible though.
It's possible, and I feel like if you're trying to become successful and you want to splurge one day, and you know, if I was Elon Musk, I would not be in politics. I'd be sitting. You wouldn't even know who I was anymore because I'd have so much money, right? Like, I'm gone.
That's a good point, though.
So, but kudos to him for having the, you know, psychotic nature to wanting to, you know, be in the limelight of that. But I'd be like Jeff Bezos, just sitting here launching rockets, you know, that look like a penis trying to fuck the sky. I'm joking. No, I mean, that's what he's trying to do. Sorry for all the kids and all the cussing. But yeah, Jeff Bezos seems like he's enjoying his money. So
Right.
I mean, I would love. I don't. I'm someone who's not like screw the rich. Of course, I want to be rich, and
Yeah.
I don't want to work. That's like there's no one in life that has said I want to do more work and less. I want less money.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, I want to do no work and I want all of the money.
Yeah.
But to get there, you gotta live beneath your means. You gotta have some
Yeah.
morals, and you gotta have a code that you gotta follow. And
Do you feel like also to kind of go back to the whole culture of it? Do you feel like it is expensive though, like to
yeah,
live like that?
yeah, especially if you're gonna go like the content creator route. It's expensive. Just health is expensive. There's the health tax on
Yeah.
things, right?
Right.
And
Dig into that a
food,
little bit.
dude,
I think
food
that's a
is
good-
the most expensive. The amount of
Right.
food that I eat, and because I like quality food, like I weigh 176 pounds. I try to get around 200 grams of protein in my body each day.
And how do you track
And-
that?
I use Cal AI. It's actually a super cool calorie tracker that uses AI. You can take a picture of, like pancakes with blueberries on it, and it'll register every
Really?
blueberry.
You just
and,
take a picture?
yeah, and then if you had pulled pork, but it was pulled chicken, it might not register that it was chicken, but
Right.
you can go in and change that.
Okay.
But and then once you've taken pictures of your meals, and if you eat that same meal, you can just re-add it
You can
again.
re-add it.
So I use a calorie tracker.
Nice.
And,
How long have you been using something like that?
I've gone through so many. So probably like 2-3 years I've used them.
Nice.
Probably like 3 years.
So, and that's proved helpful. What about, what are some other tips, I guess, or tricks to eating healthy and not spending, maybe,
Yeah.
like, or
Dude,
getting the right
your
calories?
physique. So going to the gym is like 10% of your physique. Like,
Really? You
well,
think it's
yeah.
that low?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So
Because
what's
like,
the other 90?
because eating what you eat, what you put in your body, in your rest, in your
Yeah.
stress levels, in your cortisol, and like
What is cortisol?
cortisol is a hormone in your body that raises as you start to get like fatigued, or your central nervous system starts to get basically fried as you get more stressed, and as anxiety rises, cortisol rises, and it's like a part of like your fight or flight mechanism, but it'll prevent muscle growth. So
Really?
and you won't sleep well. You'll hold more water. You'll feel lethargic.
How do you know if cortisol is high or low in your body?
I mean, that's a good question. You can go and get it tested, but
So what, you go to the doctor and you say, "Hey, I need
You
my
can get a
cortisol
whole-
tested."
you can get a whole blood panel of your hormones and like your
the whole blood. Yeah.
yeah, which
But that's
people, you
what
should get
what
blood
would be
work.
listed under your, if you get your blood tested, that's what it would be under their cortisol.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Curious.
I mean, I take ashwagandha.
Yep.
I got little gummies right here that I take.
Nice.
Yeah, they're great. And lowering your cortisol will debloat you. You'll be less bloated because you'll be holding less water.
Okay.
So like any like this like stubborn like water hold that's not necessarily fat, water around like your face, like you'll feel more puffy when your cortisol is high. So
Huh.
yeah.
Have you ever felt like that?
Oh yeah, dude, all the time.
And what do you do?
Yeah,
What do
yeah,
you-
a lot.
What type of action
Caffeine
do you
raises your cortisol.
take?
So, sleep, a lot of sleep, and like, dude, meditation, just like getting your mind right.
There you go.
When you become stressed physically, it means that's your body sending a little red bubble notification to yourself saying,
right?
"Yo, you need to chill. You need to listen to some music and read a book, or you need to go eat healthy and chill."
That's a good point.
And so, yeah, I would go to the gym. Like, I wouldn't even take rest days, and just my cortisol, it'd be, you can go to the gym too much and not build muscle. And that's why I say going to the gym is like 10% of it, because 90% of it is stress management, all your relationships. If you're broke, your family doesn't like you, and you don't have any friends. do you really expect to like build the most muscle that you can?
Right.
Like
If
you're
all
not
the
in a
other
nurturing and
areas of your life aren't providing for you, then how do you expect one of the other ones to?
exactly. And your body's going to realize that and notice that. You can't lie to yourself. And I feel like cortisol is the good at the, you know,
Right.
so
Damn, that's pretty wild. So what about like, let's talk about like mental health itself and kind of like, the building of that and like how you've been able to, I don't know, or what, having the confidence, throughout what you've been doing here, how has that helped your mental health and from like in the beginning when you said you were kind of, addicted to certain things. How have you been able to shape your mental health in a positive way?
I I mean I still think going to the gym on a day that it would might better your mental is worth it, but I think, going to therapy and talking to people is also, beneficial.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's hard like with the whole, I guess like mental side of things, and it's kind of the gym has pushed me to beyond the gym to kind of do other things.
Okay.
Um like become more financially successful and to maybe like return, I think like I would love to retire. You talk about big goals. I would love to just retire my parents. Like my parents are pretty well off, but I
right?
think
How
it's
cool
such
would
a
that be?
flex
Oh yeah.
to like just sign like a $500,000 over to your parents or something, or like, you know what I mean? And so and to do that with like something you love is even better.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
I like social media is like a slippery slope with fitness because you can get body dysmorphia. You can get, there are these crazy dark sides of PED use and the pressure of physique inflation. Like your body, like, dude, what people thought was a sexy, ideal body back in the day. Like think of like Tobey Maguire from right? That's him from Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and um like Wolverine, like those like dad bods, still jacked, but like or like all the old like wrestler bodies.
Yeah.
Like if you look at now because of social media, if you're not like super like David Lade, like diced to the gills, like
Right.
they're like, that you ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always like the guy that doesn't post anything that's like, whatever, who
It's
says
talking
that.
shit.
But their physique inflation is a thing, and that leads, people down, especially the younger generation who wants to feel accepted,
Right.
down this dark road of like poor dieting. Because dieting has been like the main. People start to realize like dieting is really what's going to affect your body the most. This whole looks maxing generation of trying to, mewing and
What's mewing?
it's when you put your tongue at the top of your mouth, and it's when you I can't do it when I'm laughing, but it's when you fix your jawline by
Oh wow.
mewing.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
I'm exaggerating it, but it's just a way of breathing through your nose and out your nose and keeping your tongue at the top of your mouth in order to change your facial features over a long period of time.
And you're basically just trying to change like your jawline, basically.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which, I mean, if you work out and you just eat healthy, your face is going to change for sure.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there are some people who will go through some pretty let's see here, pretty strange lengths to get, certain things.
yeah, it's getting crazy. So but there's like, I think that as long as you just do it in a healthy way, again, I do believe in the whole my body, my choice thing. There, like PED use is rampant in bodybuilding. And a lot of people don't understand like where it even starts or come from. People think you could just take steroids and just get jacked or whatever.
Right.
And there's natural guys that literally look almost better than there's. You would be surprised about the amount of people that are at the gym that are on some type of gear, and they look like you would never think they look like dog shit.
Really?
Like, dead serious.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And it's because of the poor diet.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, steroids does not just mean you're going to look amazing or be big. It's actually going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be you'll have side effects before the good effects. And until you do your research and dial it in and you commit down that path and you have a full understanding of what that entails, I would not choose to do it. Right. So
let me ask you this, back to like the diet itself. Do you feel like, how do you feel like, how are you able to not spend all of your money? Because you said it's expensive to eat healthy. And I have found this personally as well, because there was a time where I, let's just say I spend too much money.
No, I got
food.
you.
You know
right.
what I
Super
mean?
easy.
It is, dude. And like, there'll be times where like I'm looking at my account and I'm like, how did you, and it doesn't help with like the price of food.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter what the food is, these days,
we all know what eggs cost these days.
Yeah, right, dude? Yeah, exactly.
I love eggs. I eat so many eggs.
Yeah. So like, do you have any advice on like how to budget properly with diet?
Yeah. Dude, I'm sorry. You asked that question. I didn't even answer it.
No, it's okay.
Yes. There's 100%. So if you're trying to eat healthy, and you want to spend a lot of less money, I literally have general guidelines, and I'm trying to the reason I'm fumbling my words a little bit is because I don't want to give you just something that you get stuck on.
Yeah.
This is super general that literally will give you 90% of the benefits. Here it is. First off, you're trying to save money. Definitely get like a Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco, right? Like, and I'm not saying bulk. For everything, get that bulk, baby. But we're going to start bulk here. Okay.
Yeah.
And the next one is going to be seasonings.
Okay.
Right? Because we're going to be eating so simple that, when it comes to carbs, for example, potatoes and rice, you could probably live off those as your carbs for a very, very long time, right? So buy in bulk, buy potatoes, buy bulk items, but just season them different, right?
Okay.
Season them all your different ways, different ethnicities, watch some YouTube.
Right.
Another thing is if you have the right equipment, like a big air fryer, a big rice cooker, like invest in that, because then you can keep your food, you can cook bigger batches of food. And if you can cook big batches of food, then you don't have to spend as much time each week. Right. You don't have to spend as much time each week. More time is more money. It's just, you got to set yourself up for success here.
For sure.
But another good tip is before you shop in between the aisles, get all your groceries on the outside. So on the outer rims of the grocery store.
Okay.
And that's where all the fresh produce is. That's where the meat, if you think about it, that's where the dairy is, and then the meat, and then so you're gonna eat healthy. Like literally, that's where 90% of the healthy food is.
Right.
You got all the canned crap and all the sauces and everything, and the boxed crap in the middle.
Yeah, you're right.
And so
chips and stuff like that are in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so that and then the third, so club card, shop around the outsides. Obviously, season your crap, but that's pretty general unless you just like to eat bland food. But when it comes to protein sources, that's going to be your most expensive. You're going to have to settle, choose 90-10 ground beef instead of leaner, whatever, Angus top sirloin or filet mignon or whatever. Because that's what I eat, a lot of filet mignon, and I like ribeye too, but. I try to eat a little more filet mignon because it's more lean, but it's still soft. So it's
gotcha.
But it's expensive as crap, dude. You know, so I I do the I get the big back on my bullshit tubes is what I call them. And that's those big, those big 10-pound tubes from Costco of 90, 10 ground beef for like $40.
Right.
So
nice.
So there's there's cooking in bulk is probably, and living beneath your means, just being like, yeah, I'm not going to pull over and get Chipotle because I have that same exact protein sources at home.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest.
Nice.
So I eat like 80% clean and then 20% I actually eat out. Like I have cheat meals and stuff and I like to eat out. And when I do, I'm taking advantage of every freaking reward, dude.
Got to.
If I'm at like McDonald's, I'm like doing the mobile order thing and I'm like editing the thing to where, and then just for the one item, because you can't add more than one deal.
Oh, shoot.
I'll do it the deal again. So I'm doing more. Yeah. So it's like I'm multiple customers.
He's double dealing.
Yeah. So if there's money to be saved, I'll do it. I'm not, there's no shame in that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's when it comes to saving money, like, or when it comes to just for fitness, don't spend every dollar on trying to look your best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because you're not going to look your best. So like, we're going to go right back to cortisol. You're going to get the cortisol high because you're broke now. Right. And you're living a shitty life. So.
Yeah, dude, I think it comes down to like, you do have to like also like be happy with like the food that you're eating, like it doesn't just have to be like this regimented deal to where it's like, oh, I have to do this, so you do have to kind of like spice it up, I'm sure, and make things a little bit different. Let's pivot a little bit. Let's talk about social media itself and what some of your, either like how you kind of evolved with social media with what you're doing here. I think I do want to kind of also, I want you to kind of segue as well into like what you see for the future. And I want you to tell people how they can possibly, be a part of this community, that you're trying to build.
Yeah. So, I'm all in on social media. I started just throwing like skits at the board or like just content ideas at the board, just mimicking what other people have been doing. And it's wild how algorithms work. One video that does well on Instagram won't do well on TikTok. And it's just a consistency thing. And the algorithms are there to help you and figure out who you are so that they can take your information, put it in a vehicle and drive it to the right community, like the right people, right? Like, and so if you can like always mold your content around your niche audience, I feel like it doesn't matter as you get 200 views. 200 views is 200 people is a lot.
Yeah, I know, right? When you think about that.
So, and I know people that are making a full-fledged living off of, and I'm not, off of online coaching, off of just 5,000, 1,000 followers.
Oh wow!
Because they've converted 10 of those people out of their 1,000 people following. That's not anything.
Yeah,
that's
a good point.
Because you can build a huge following and none of those people can resonate because you don't have anything to offer. You got viral off of like, a dance that you did or something. So I always try to tie my stuff back into, I'll go a little out. Like I've had my most viral videos have nothing to do with content.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with gym content.
Gotcha.
They're just funny, which is fine because they still do, because it's either like me eating or like, and I'll incorporate, and then right after that I'll post gym stuff because I'm like, now that I have you here,
that's smart.
So
I like that.
One of my biggest videos has been like me just hanging around with this goth girl. Literally, I've just been hanging out with this goth chick, and I'll just like post her with me, include gym and goth, because we talked about these weird little, personas that are created in gym culture. The goth mommy stomp on me gym,
goth mommy,
babe. That's a thing. So like, there are guys that like that, gym girl that's like a goth girl. So I just leaned in on some of the films and they went well. And then now I'm trying other stuff. Am I going to stick to that? I don't want that to be who I'm entirely based around, and that's not going to attract. So I just make sure that I'm always aligning like with my niche. You know what I mean? So,
I like that.
So and my name's Ryan Bradshaw. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, we'll put your information
cool
at the bottom here. Yeah, spell it out though for everybody.
Yeah, so Ryan, Ryan, and then Ryan X Bradshaw, because we're coming from the hardcore alternative era.
There you go.
Ryan X Bradshaw.
Nice.
That's Bradsaw.
Nice.
No relation to Terry Bradshaw, unfortunately.
Now, and also, hey, why don't you? I know you said you had some products here that that you wanted to kind of show people that you have.
Part of my content is I do TikTok shop, and this is products I use every single day that I've had the pleasure to share the world with.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was a good caffeine gum. I got Neuro gum right here. You
got several cameras you can.
Yeah, check it out, guys. Neuro gum. It's great. I mean, look at this. So it's it's L-theanine and caffeine.
Okay.
And I chew it basically whenever I want, like a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, and L-theanine helps me focus. I have bad, ADD, and L-theanine helps.
Okay.
And L-theanine's in matcha. So if you're a smooth, you're a chill matcha guy.
Oh yeah, come on.
I don't drink coffee. I'm a matcha guy.
Who ain't? You know.
So I love this. This has been like, I'm a huge advocate for this.
Nice.
I do it. I basically wake up. When I'm at the gym, I'm chewing a piece.
Okay.
Right before this podcast, I was chewing a piece.
Right.
I'm always chewing it. And so,
do you drink coffee too? Or?
I do like coffee. Yeah. I do like coffee, but I care about myself. Honestly, I care about my teeth, and I don't like I try to keep my teeth kind of white, and so
coffee's not.
Yeah, and so I've always been a gum chewer.
Okay.
Because, dude, I feel like gum is kind of like a resistance band. You're kind of like working your jaw out.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure.
So this is
chewing
like
that same piece of gum for like 3 days and shit.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, no, seriously, man, seriously. So I do love this, and so basically, I'll reach out to companies that I feel like I've used their product and I really resonate with. So this has just been something I use every single day. I love it. And then cortisol, right? We talk about cortisol.
Yep.
Dude, I have ashwagandha gummies.
Oh, yeah. So the cortisol is in ashwagandha?
So ashwagandha lowers cortisol.
Lowers. Okay.
Yeah. So these are like, I love these. Honestly, I'm going to eat 2 right now.
Yeah, hit it up, dude.
Let me rip them up. Just
I'll
because
take one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, 2's a serving, bro. So you got to eat 2.
Okay.
And they taste like normal gummies. But these are something. So gummies are just a fun way to take a supplement, right? They make pills of this, but Goli ashwagandha.
I have ashwagandha in my tea in the morning.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
So this is like the KSM 66. It's like their best ashwagandha. And is it good? You like them?
Yeah.
You all right?
Awesome, dude.
But
they taste good too.
they help me relax. I use them as, a lot of people are like, ashwagandha will do all this crazy stuff for you, beneficial. I use it as a cortisol regulator.
Yeah.
So I can go to bed. And
is ashwagandha, it's a plant, right?
Yeah. It's a plant. It's a root.
Got you.
Yeah. It's a root extract. So I really like it. Goli Nutrition. This is a 60 serving bottle. I'm pretty sure like on my TikTok shop, it's like $6 or $8. It's like $8 a bottle. Like normally these are like $16 at like CVS.
Gotcha.
So pretty cool.
Nice.
I definitely, I use this. I would not even be putting this up here if it wasn't a thing. So
nice.
This is another one. And then,
spin.
We good.
You're good.
So my third.
Oh yeah, what else you got?
This raises your cortisol. No, I'm joking. So this is So this is a pump product. This is a pre-workout, and I just love this flavor. It's watermelon grape. It is a TikTok shop exclusive.
Oh, exclusive.
So they sent it to me. I sell it on my TikTok shop, and you can only get it there.
Nice.
So you can't get it in any other supplement store. I do have other flavors on there, but I just thought I'd bring the cool one.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
And I love it. So I'm going to actually use some of this later after the podcast today.
Nice.
So
nice.
But all of these products you can literally get on my TikTok.
Okay.
Super easy. Like
we'll put that those links below here.
TikTok shop is crazy.
Isn't it?
Like it's better than Amazon.
You think?
It's gonna be the biggest competitor.
Yeah,
because it's like
a
QVC.
lot harder to trust, though.
It comes as fast as Amazon. The packages. And it's
I agree. I believe that. You don't think that there's any harm at all with like the
like the political parts of of TikTok, or just
not even that, but like having your information, buying something through TikTok, putting your credit card on.
I feel like because the most recent, like January 19th, like how they brought it back or whatever. I feel like it's more safe.
You think?
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten more safe just because it's more accepted in terms of like it's here to stay. Like, I don't think now, because TikTok survived its third ban.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna, there's gonna be any more. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Do you hear that? Do you hear that noise? Oh, shoot. Okay. Yo, who's this? This is the OG Ryan Bradshaw. Oh, well, dude, I got somebody sitting right next to me right now who wants to have a conversation with you, all right? Be nice to him. Be nice to him. All right, here he is. Dude, this is you. This is your older self, dude.
Hello? Dude, you're loud as shit. You need to tone down that Yo, where are you? Yo, get at... Yeah, move away. All right, there you go. There you go. Yo, what's up, man? Your voice sounds a little higher. And I don't know what you're listening to, but that's not what I listen to now. It's crazy, dude. Are you who are you there with? Are you still selling drugs? Nice. You sound fucked up. You sound pretty messed up. You sound messed up. Listen, man, if there's a couple pieces of advice I could give you right now, it's that next bump that you're going to do probably won't be worth it. And whichever girl you're with, she might be wasting your time unless you got it all planned out, ready to rock. I'll be honest with you, because that's just in your nature. You're someone that's gonna always, waste your time with other people. You're gonna soon figure it out, though. But if I tell you now, you'll save a lot of time. So that's one thing. Also, dude, all that Bitcoin that you're spending on drugs, you just pocket it and run with it. Because eventually you're going to work for Apple for 7 years too. So you don't even know that yet, but you'll do that one. But yeah, man, you're jacked as shit. You're jacked. That's great. You're confident, right? And you've proven to yourself that a lot of things that you never thought you could accomplish, you can, and you did it in healthier ways that you thought that you couldn't. So, if I could tell you anything, it's to focus more on yourself. There's no hater that is doing better than you. Because the people at the top are collaborating, and it's good to be competitive and to have the grind and the grit, but to stay in your lane and stay the fuck in that lane. No, stay in your lane. Seriously.
No sweat.
Because you're a little shit. So, yeah, man, I hope that, you've taken the time to listen to me on all this, and you walked away from the crappy music and the loud, area that you're in. But yeah, man, I wish you the best. Live long and prosper. Right? And listen, UFOs might actually be sooner to be seen than you realize. So that's another thing to think about. So, All right, bro. Keep listening to techno though. I do like that.
Tell him you love him.
I love you. And hug your bros at night. And whichever girl you're with, bro, just actually treat her pretty nice. Okay, she might be a waste of your time, but just treat her better than you are. So
All right, dog. You end up being a stand-up guy. All right. And yo, he wasn't lying. You are jacked, dog. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking like Arnold. All right. Love you, bro. Peace.
nice. Nice.
Isn't that awesome?
That's good. That's good.
All right. Hey, I got a few rapid fire questions for you here. All right. You didn't get to see these, okay? So we're gonna go right into them. All right. Now you got to be quick with these, okay?
Oh, we're ready.
All right. Like right off the dome. Like
we're not thinking about it.
No,
it's gonna be what comes natural.
Yeah. Straight off top.
Yup.
All right. Do you like the music your parents listen to?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Name something that always puts you in a bad mood.
People that wear their sunglasses at the gym.
Oh, that's too funny. What do you think the world would be like in 20 years?
Robots are doing our laundry and our dishes and cooking food for us, and we're living our lives at a better version. We are just being better. We are living for a higher purpose.
Oh, like that. Would you rather be able to speak every language or play every instrument?
Ooh. Okay, so quick. Both. If I want to be super rich, every language.
Yeah.
Because you're an ultimate negotiator.
Oh.
But if you're doing every instrument, you could literally like impress like anyone.
Yeah.
Like you could literally which could kind of put you in the same position as both. So I'd have to go with instrument.
Nice.
Instrument.
I agree. If you could be good at something overnight, what would it be?
One thing overnight.
Yeah.
Dude, becoming a WWE performer. If I could tomorrow become a wrestler, like Rowdy Ryan Bradshaw, whatever the heck my
Is that
name
what your name would be?
Honestly, that's not that bad.
No,
that's not that bad.
No, not at all.
I'll have to get back to you on the official name.
Okay.
Man, maybe I should do that. I should go down that route.
You should.
But yeah, that would be it.
Nice. Would the world be better or worse if no one carried around phones?
Ooh. You know what? I think it'd be the same.
Yeah.
Because without phones, we haven't been able to see as transparent of things. There's been more lies and more smoke and mirrors without phones.
Right.
But because of phones, there's more access to more BS. And so I like the more phone. I think that the world is a better place with phones. I'm on that optimistic aspect because we wouldn't be here today doing this if it wasn't for phones.
Oh,
so
great point.
Yeah, and I think that it's getting better.
Nice. All your clothes have to be one color forever. Which color would you choose?
Dang, gray. Different shades of gray.
Nice.
Gray.
Nice. That's a good one. What's the first thing you notice when you meet a new person?
Dude, I'm a bodybuilder, so physique and smile and like eye contact, like demeanor, like how someone like looks at you and their reactions to things. So like when they laugh, who they look at. Or like, just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
love that.
Yeah.
Can a person have several best friends or just one?
Nah, bro. You can have a crew. You can have like some bestie westies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The besties westies.
But like, nah, if you're like, he's my best friend, like that needs to be your like ride or die, like your best friend, bro. Like he's gonna be your first man. He's the guy that like, you seen his dick, bro. No, no, but like,
that's a requirement of a best friend these days.
Like,
come on, you know that.
Like inadvertent, like it's just a best friend. And dude, I don't necessarily have. I'm on the tight knit crew side. I don't have like that one person that's like my best friend, but I got like 3 or 4 homies that always know my tea. They always know the BS that's going on, and They just know what's up. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Good one. Would you rather burp glitter or fart fireworks?
Dude, I feel like fart fireworks, baby, because
Yes, dude.
that's just fucking that's American, baby.
That's
American,
right,
man.
there you go. If you were given a robot, what would you program it to do?
Dude, my laundry, meal prep for me, answer some emails, basically all the stuff that that's just automated that I
Yeah.
can automate more
Yeah,
to make
for
my
sure.
life better, save some time.
Love that. Do aliens exist?
100%.
Yeah, dude. Come
Yeah.
on. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Ooh. Honestly, a mind reader. Yeah, a mind reader.
Man, that's a good
Like,
one.
because
dude.
all the other ones are so cop out, like infinite strength and flying and teleportation and invisibility.
Yeah.
Like you're messing with society too much doing one of those. But if you're a mind reader, yeah, you're messing with society, but you can do it at your own discretion and no one sees the power.
Oh, shoot.
They don't see the power. You're just proving it to them, and at the end of the day, they don't even know.
They don't even know.
You know?
Damn.
Crazy.
If you had the power to make someone not famous anymore, who would you choose?
All right, dude. That one, there's so many
That's a
hot
good one.
seat candidates for that.
Yeah.
But and not even to push him down further, but Drake. Drake, dude. Guys make their whole personality. There are some guys, there's that archetype. They make their whole personality a
Yeah.
Drake fan.
Yeah.
Especially with everything Drake's just in the spotlight for.
Right.
And just I just know him as the Degrassi kid. So no hate. I'm not I hate him, but if I could just defame someone,
Nice.
might as well completely knock him down
Yeah,
even more than he's
yeah.
knocked down. So what?
Describe what you think your life will look like when you're 85.
Oh. So I'm hoping health advancements are to the point where my skin won't be as wrinkly as people are at 85. But I'm hoping that at 85, I'm just with the love of my life. I have a great family. I've made a living to where I can pass down all of my, I put it this way. I want to, that I have a defensive living so that I can take more offensive swings at life.
Oh, I like that.
Just being comfortable and being at a point where my future livelihood, whether I have kids or not, is doing well. And I know in my heart that I can, die at peace.
Nice.
So yeah,
Love
80,
that.
85. And I hope I'm still jacked on the beach. I don't know, in Italy, sipping wine someplace. And if I'm not with the love of my life, then hopefully I'm surrounded by, a couple of good-looking girls or something, dude.
Right. Or some friends at least.
Exactly.
You know?
It'd be cool to be an old guy and be we all made it with all your buddies.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Y'all ride off into the sunset with choppers.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
you know what I mean?
So,
Love that, dude.
I would hope to do that. 85, you have so much money when it's your friend's birthday and you're like, did you like the Rolex I bought you?
Oh, right.
You're just at the end of your game. It's you got nothing else. You're just out there.
You're just out there,
You're just, living.
having a good time, man.
So, yeah, that's what I do.
Love that, dude. Well, dude, hey, man, I'm so glad that you were able to come through, and I think we went through so many different parts of your journey, and I was able to learn a whole bunch of new stuff about you, and just your fitness journey. And I think a lot of, people are going to be able to take, some tips and some tricks from what you said. Do you have any last minute forms of inspiration for anybody, or last minute thoughts that you want to kind of put out there and tell people again, maybe where they can find you and how to be a part of the community that you're building now?
Yeah. So I know I said it within the podcast, so I'm going to reiterate it. So this could be a clip or
Clip it.
whatever.
Clap it.
So And Triple H told Dave Batista this. So it's good. This is all WWE referred. But like I said, 3 things. Live beneath your means as you're grinding and getting your goals in order. Mm-hmm. And do shit with the passion, like literally like a gun's being put to your head. Like, the do it tired, do it hungry, do it sleepy. Like seriously, like give yourself that time, but just get it done. Don't lie to yourself, because if you lie to yourself, you're gonna get used to that. And you don't want to let yourself down.
That's a good point.
Right? And then 3rd is treat yourself like an asset, like a commodity, like a stock, like a personal brand. I think personal branding is the future. I think no one likes these manufactured, big, commercials and celebrities that push these brands. I think people are reading between the lines and realizing that they want to relate to people, and they want to see their story within those people. But so those are the 3. And then, something that I'm living my life by, because I used to be like, everyone's just the same, but lean into that thing that people make fun of you for. Like, lean into the thing that people tell you to stop because they don't think you can accomplish, because that's just them thinking they can't accomplish.
Yeah.
Be exceptional. That's what it is. Because being exceptional is being of the exception and going down the road less traveled. Mm-hmm. And you'll never know unless you go down that road if it's going to work out. So you might as well, because that's the life that you want to live. If you choose the other one, you're choosing the life that you're not going to live. And if you just go down that unconventional, less traveled, exceptional route, and it works out for you, well, then people are going to see it. People only like to see your accomplishments, not how you got there, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad to say, you know what I mean? No one likes to dig in a mine until they know that diamonds were found there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's like that persistence and grit is just, if you're going to be the exception, like lean into that stuff that you're like not confident about, because that's going to make you who you are. So,
man, love that. Dude.
So yeah,
that's great, dude. Well said. Well said,
dude. I appreciate you having me, man.
No problem, man. No problem. Appreciate you coming through. Tell everybody your socials one more time.
So I am. It's Ryan X Bradshaw.
Okay.
On everything.
On everything.
Yeah, on TikTok, YouTube. I do long form stuff on YouTube, like diary style. Kind of experimenting with that, but yeah, Ryan X Bradshaw on everything. And yeah, follow me for comedy, motivation, gym advice. DM me if you need help. Send me videos if you need help with your form. I have. I'm actually looking for a couple more clients. So
nice.
I think I'm going to do a giveaway and have 2 train 2 people for free for 3 months for some testimonials. So I'll probably do a post in like maybe we'll see, like a week or so. I already have one guy one of my clients that he's willing to be a testimonial for, but yeah. Nice. So keep a lookout for that.
Dope.
Yeah.
Love that. So. Love that. Well, yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming through. And this was something that I've been looking forward to for a while now. And I'm glad we were able to make this happen. Yeah, boy.
I get a little bicep flex in there. No.
Right, get it in there. Well, hey, man, I appreciate everybody, the Respecting Perspectives crew out there for tuning in. And until the next episode, we'll see y'all on the flip side.
Peace.
Peace.